modern day Babylon, which he was in ancient Babylon when he was actually beginning to prophesy about that.
Go ahead. You got a quick precept?
Yeah, kind of. Because I think it was what you said. I think was that Ezekiel you said you read about the mouth of the prophets?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Ezekiel.
We're just going
35.
You got 1:70. This is Luke 1:70. Because I was going off of what the brother was saying. This is in Luke. It says, "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began." So the prophet's been speaking on this since the world began, man. This has been going down like that, man. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all the haters. So that's all the nations, man, even the 2/3, man. So the Yahawashi from the beginning has been telling us, "Hey, look, this is what's gonna happen," you know. And then the spirit of the Lord told us, "Look, this is how it's gonna happen." You know, how I'm gonna save you, man. You know,
Confederate against us.
yes, the world is gonna be so much deeply in shock to see the way the salvation of Israel is gonna be, man. The men of the Lord, man. You know, these things have been spoken of. You know, and destruction has been spoken of. Sweet things are not coming to America. Sweet things is not coming to the earth. You know, the Lord thought, he thought of evil against us. What you think he gonna do to you, man?
God.
Go ahead, bro.
The judgment will begin at the house of Israel.
God.
What shall be the if judgment begin at the house of Israel, roughly paraphrasing, which shall be the end of those that obey not the gospel. This is Jude 1:14, because you said that the prophets, spoke from the beginning. Well, it says in Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, "Behold, the Lord being Yahawashi, cometh with 10,000 of his saints." And the saints within, this particular verse is dealing with the angels. And a good precept for this will be Psalms, I believe that's the 68th chapter, verse 17. The chariots of the Lord are 20,000, even thousands of thousands.
Right.
It says, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So Yahawashi is coming with the thousands of his saints. He's coming with a host of chariots. Now this is Enoch, and we hold the same testimony as Enoch, in the testimony of which he testified Yahawashi. So if Enoch testified Yahawashi, and testifying Yahawashi is considered the spirit of prophecy, if we hold the same testimony, then what are we doing? we're prophesying as well, man.
Right. Okay. Right, so man, let's go.
Matthew 24.
Yes, sir. Let's go there.
We'll take it from the top.
Let's take it from the top.
All right, this is Matthew, the 24th chapter, and beginning at verse 2. Beginning at verse 3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privily, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?"
Right. Because this was the Yahawashi spoke. And matter of fact, the scriptures already told you, were already written that, at what we're gonna call the Old Testament, it was already written that the Lord it was gonna be a change in the earth, man. We was gonna be delivered in the time that he appointed, man. All right? Keep reading, bro.
And just to mention this, the word world within this verse 3, it means ion. It doesn't mean world as in the whole inhabitable earth. Now the word ion is dealing with an age, it's dealing with time. So the end of this time, which also constitutes the end of the reign of Esau Edom. It says in the book of 2nd Ezra 6 and 8, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." So that's 2nd Ezra 6 and 8 through 9. So the coming of Yahawashi also represents the downfall of Esau Edom. All right, because he's going to be the one that bruised the head of the serpent and take the serpent, which became a dragon, out of power. Verse 4, it says, And Yahawashi answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
All right, you got a lot of guys that came to say they are the Lord, and one of them recently passed away, basically blasphemed himself and passed away recently, man. You know, you got guys, many people that came in that time, man. You heard those things people said, so you can't refute the things that the Lord has been saying. Go ahead, bro.
And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars.
And we've been hearing wars and wars for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
You know, many wars, man. You know, America went to war, or going to war every 30 years, or every 20, or every little skirmishes and wars and rumors.
What's like? Go ahead.
All things that's about to happen, or a war like, basically they about to go to North Korea. You know, that's a rumor. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Or another thing you're hearing about is meetings and treaties that they're trying to do to prevent themselves from going to war. You hear sanctions. Another nation putting sanctions on other nations. That's an act of war. You put sanctions on another nation, you weaken their dollar, their purchasing power. You now cutting off their export and import of goods. Now, that's actually that's one of the ways how you siege a city. That's an act of war.
The killing of Soleimani was a rumor of war. Because that put the world, a step closer to World War III, in so much that they moved the doomsday clock to 100 seconds into midnight. So we're hearing of rumors, wars, and rumors of wars. Here's a quick precept, Jeremiah 51:46. Unless your heart faint and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. And a lot of people, they won't believe, that the world is about to take a turn towards World War III. Because they're like, oh, well, that's insane. That's what y'all been saying for years. Because they consider it to be just a rumor, so they blow it off. But eventually it's going to happen, and the fact that there's a rumor about something, then that right there should let you know that there's something that's actually going on. Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be a rumor about it. But those are a sign that we're in the end of the world. Because there's wars and there's rumors of wars. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right, so you're going to hear these things go down. Wars, rumors of wars, and it's not going to even be, the end not going to be here yet. You're not going to see Yahawashi. It's just going to be a lot of, when we get down, when they get down to the nitty gritty in America, still going to be time Yahawashi until that chip get instituted, it's going to be, it might be little skirmishes going on, man. Because already you got the patriotic Americans, man. Who don't like, who's on the side of Trump or who's not on the side of Trump. You got the Bible Belt, you got those mercenaries, you got those militia guys. Time, we don't know when this stuff is going to pop up, but you've been hearing these wars, man. The Lord's we've been prophesying about wars, man. Somebody went to, who was that, the war over there in Syria? It was a small little war, and then you got the Russians tell America to get out of there or whatever. Mm-hmm. All right, you had other type of little things in that.
Arab Spring.
Yeah.
And another thing too, we're not the only ones that's hearing of rumors of wars. These elites, they hear rumors of wars too. The elites of these other nations, and because that's how, because other nations, they have spies. They have spies, Russia might send a spy to America, America might send a spy over to, North Korea, whatever. That's how they gain intel. They hear of wars, rumors of wars that, North Korea is planning a missile test, or they plan on attacking such and such, or they plan on doing a cyber attack. And when you hear stuff like that as a king, you gotta take stuff like that serious. You gotta be on edge. And then you hear stuff like a fighter jet gets too close to another fighter jet from another country, and you just might have heard a rumor. When you hear stuff like that, you be on edge, and that's a spirit that these countries are on. Is they on edge. You got uproars of the people. Protests going on here in Michigan. You hearing protests in Venezuela. You hearing protests. They basically just said. I just heard China, another city is getting locked back down again because they already anticipating another second wave. Wars, rumors of wars, and everything.
For nation, this is verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
Now, Yahawashi said, I will bring all nations against to the valley of Yahawashi. Because these nations, they're going to fight. Now, normally, when nations fight, like the Bronze Age stuff, usually it's this kingdom versus that kingdom. You're gonna have nations rising up against each other. All these nations got involved in this one particular war. It's every now and then you might have a nation that might join. And say, okay, let's join together to take on the Philistines or such and such. You wasn't having 20 different nations all fighting all at the same time. Go ahead.
All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
You've been hated by it for his name's sake, man. What's the name of Yahawashi Yahawashi? You hear the name, you hear us calling on the name of the Lord, and people say that's not the name. They want to fight, because of that name. Didn't they tell the apostles don't speak in that name anymore?
Yep.
So they don't want to hear that name because what the name brings a vibration that they don't need, they don't want.
Quick precept, 1 Peter 4:14. If ye be reproached for the name of Yahawashi, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of Yahweh resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. And Yahawashi told us that we're going to suffer if we be followers of him, the same things that the world did unto him. The fact that they didn't receive him, the fact that they persecuted him, that they would do the same thing unto us. He said that a servant is not greater than his master. So we're coming in the spirit of Yahawashi. And that's the reason why the book of John says, and this is how we know the spirit of error and the spirit of truth. Anybody that's in the spirit of truth and in the spirit of Yahawashi, they would listen to what we're saying. They would take heed to it. But the world isn't going to receive the things that we have to say because they're not of the world. The vibration of the world is the vibration of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Is the book of John, the 15th chapter, in the 18th verse. It says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If you are of the world will love his own. But because you are not of the world, and I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I have said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. And if they have kept my sins, they will keep yours also. And they persecuted Yahawashi. They drew him before the judgment seat of heathens. And begged the heathens to put him to death. Well, that's the same thing that they're going to do to us.
Yep. Exactly. Same exact thing. Prepare for the persecution. It's not going to be easy, man. It's not. And the Lord told us it ain't going to be easy, man. What that was 15 chapter?
Yeah, 15 chapter of John. Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be the same They're gonna try to do the same thing to us, man. So don't think you're gonna just. I know. Elder Nathaniel of the IUIC. He said it's just going. Basically, the Lord just gonna arrive. It's things that's gotta happen before that, man. Like the chip is not gonna exist. You know, the chip is part of the process. See, it's part of it, man. There's scriptures that tell you, you know, like that's gonna be part of uproar of the people. That's gonna be uproars of the people, man. You know, it's gonna be skirmishes when they put that vaccine in people. People gonna start tripping. When they start trying to inoculate people more and say you got to line up to get this chip, and you got soldiers everywhere, you're gonna have people hiding, man. It's not gonna be It's not gonna be easy. The Lord told us about that. Even when there was, He told them about Messiah, man. You know, somebody get Luke 21. So He told us about these things, man. Okay, so we're in the stage in the time where the Lord has spoken these prophecies, man. I think it's 20, maybe 20.
This is Luke 21 and 20. Can I start up at 17?
Of course, sir.
It says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not a hair of your head perish, and your patience possess your souls. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein. Indeed, for these be the days of vengeance."
Well, man, Jerusalem is the people, man, before it's a place. And as they doing now, what they doing with the COVID-19, saying it was basically, it's Jake that's the reason why the COVID-19 is still being passed around. Knowing that they putting people in the hospital, and as soon as they get in there, they're dying. I heard about 2 people dying today about the COVID-19, older people, but the people swear that they just walked in there without it and end up dying of it. You know, that's gonna be there is
Population control, eugenics.
There you go, bro. Yep. So they're gonna surround the cities, man. Because what do Jake really be? You know, in the cities. You know, these cities, man. These are the cities. These are places, man, where they gonna be at. Where they can go down in the burbs or somewhere like that to snatch you guys up. The cities and the surrounding cities around these major cities is where Jake is at, man. So what they really do, ready to pounce on you, man. They're ready to get rid of you, man. Because you the only obstacle in their way of so-called world domination, and them never having to look back again, which they think they're gonna get to their new world order, man. You know, they want every Jake off the earth, but the Most High made it blessed. They don't know who a Jake is. You know, it's hitting, looking like looking like a Edomite, looking like a Elamite, looking like, you know. Can't get them all, so they want to reduce population with their eugenics. They tried so much with the abortions. They tried those things. They tried with the autism, basically autism is like a person not being able to reproduce, because a person with autism most likely are not going to be able to reproduce, you know. So this is with the Tuskegee experiment. They try to get rid of you, Jakes, but then now they just gonna say forget it. We just gonna go in and we're gonna just try to tear them apart, man.
God.
Right? Got it.
And the Israelite foreigner thing turned out to be a blessing. You know, the Most High Heavenly Father knew that eventually this devil was going to try to cut off the children of Israel in the regard of, you know, trying to eliminate them. That way he can, you know, the Most High Heavenly Father can do away with the birthright. You know, that he change his covenant. You know,
change his mind.
and not deal with anyone at all. You know, the Most Heavenly Father knew that. You know, so he's 144,000 steps ahead of you, man. You know, and the Lord, you know, has things planned out. Now, he may have it to where he may, you know, when the sword is furbished, that it may cut off some of the righteous with the wicked. But those righteous men are going to die honorable deaths. But guess what? They're going to live again, because there's a such thing as reincarnation. You know, so you can't cut them off. You know, through Yahawashi, we have something that is called immortality. You know, so even if you were able to succeed in killing us, guess what? We're just going to come back in new glorified bodies, man. The same way that Yahawashi did. So what does that mean? That means that the days of Israel are as it states within the book of Sirach, it says that the days of man can be numbered, but the days of Israel are eternal. So what does that mean? What does the word eternal mean? That means forever. La'alamya.
Yeah.
You know? Now this is Luke, the 19th chapter, and dealing with the fact that Esau is going to, surround these cities. And that time is going to be known as the time of Jacob's trouble, in which we're in. But it's going to be even worse, all right, in the days coming. It says, for the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee around, and keep thee in on every side. Now, this was dealing ultimately with 70 AD, but there's a lot of similarities between 70 AD and the days that we're living in now. You know, these days are going to be even worse than 70 AD. You know, 70 AD will not be, it's comparable in some senses, but it's not as worse as these times are going to be. You know,
we got robots. You're gonna have lasers. You're gonna have all type of wild animals coming in. They came in at us with armies, but it's gonna be more than their armies. It's gonna be drones. I was about to say it. Drones. And it's gonna be chaotic. We're gonna see apparitions. It's gonna be crazy around that time, man. It's gonna be things we ain't never seen before, and then that's gonna present itself, man. But that's why the scripture says it's gonna be a day that like baby there never was. You know, it ain't gonna be the same. You know, we're gonna be trapped with the Lord is gonna be trapped in seeing dead bodies, man. Of course they seen dead bodies, and we gonna see apparitions. And we gonna it's gonna be kids, ripped up. Scripture tell you about kids gonna be ripped up. Alright? And it's not gonna be the same as thing, because look, it's gonna be more things and more of a worldly horrible effect that the Most High said. It's gonna, like you said in Egypt, it's gonna be darkness gripped them. It's gonna be time. It's gonna be a hell of a time, man. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Who got it? That probably
got a quick one. Daniel 12:1. It says, and at that time, because you quoted it, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Right, and ain't that crazy? It's gonna be a time that has never been seen before. We've seen wars now. But even the wars that we've seen in the last 20, 30 years are not gonna even be the same type of destruction in the streets that we see in America.
As horrible as the time of Maccabees was,
God,
it still won't be as worse as these times that we're about to endure.
And the Lord prophesied about these days, man. Hey, man, if the Most High, if you don't get this right, or see that this is the truth, and the Lord is telling us in the scriptures. Because the same Christian church will read these scriptures and just bypass them. You won't see that. Sometimes you get those churches that they try to do the same way that how we break down. You got those type of churches that try to break down the scriptures that kind of like we do, but they can't get it the same way.
Jennings.
Yeah, okay, that's his name, Geno Jennings. Yeah, but it's too late, man. Because all that is that's a waste of time. Only Yahawashi Shai got the elect already sealed, and He knows who's gonna be sealed, and we just waiting on the Lord to return, man. You know, that's why the Lord is telling us, look, basically get yourself straight, come back, repent, do what you gotta do, but these things are gonna happen. You know? It's gonna be terrible. You know, but Jacob's gonna be saved out of it, man. Because it's my elect, and no hurt gonna come to my elect. If you die as a martyr, you're gonna be you're gonna get a first class ride on that chariot, man. You know? Already ready, already in your new body, man. You know, die for your name of Yahawashi, man. You said yes.
Yeah, this is Revelations chapter 22 and verse 12. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be.
Right, he said, every man according. If you came with that bullshit, you know, according to your works. The Lord Yahawashi Mashai is gonna give you what you've been given, man. Don't come down later talking about, hey, Yahawashi, when you've been calling Yahweh out and you done heard the name Yahawashi, man. Or you can call Yeshua. You know, it's too late. You know, you guys, a lot of you guys have returned back to your own vomit. You know, went back into the world. You know, because you didn't believe. You didn't believe. You really never believed. A lot of you guys wanted to come in this thing because it was like a good, cool thing to do. You know, at the moment, you was yeah. Everybody knows your name, right? The brother, yeah.
Serve the God of their own belly.
Yep, they want to serve their own belly, man. Want to line their pockets up. See how they can line their pockets up. See if I can get some money here. I come in. Yeah, I'm the head brother. Give me, y'all need to pay me money. Then I can go ahead and keep my job. That's another source of income. You guys come in this thing with horrible intentions, man. With bad intentions. Lord willing, you know us men, we stay on this side. But you guys come in here not believing what Yahawashi said, man. You guys say go to the highways and byways. Shit, you go on that scorched ground, you know, see, you wither away, man. All right, you know, you didn't go deep. You're not deep enough set in that soil, man.
Nope.
Then that sun came and scorched you, man. You know, a little persecution came, and you was gone, man. So don't and look and don't come with try to get that oil, man. Should have trimmed your lamps, man. No.
Quick precept.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the book of Hebrews, the 10th chapter, and I'm going to begin at the 35th verse, and it reads. It says, "Cast not away therefore your confidence, which have great recompense of reward." And that's exactly what these guys done. You know, they cast away their confidence, you know, which our confidence is our faith. You know, Yahawashi Yahawashi, you know, who is our confidence? You know, I just want to grab that word for confidence. The word there is parousia. And it says, freedom in speaking, unreversedness in speech, open, frankly, in example, without concealment, without ambiguity or circumlocution, without the use of figures and comparisons, free and fearless, confidence, cheerful, courage, boldness, assurance, the deportment by which one becomes conspicuous of secures publicity. So this word that you spoke freely, you know, at one point, all right, without unreversedness, you know, and you spoke it publicly, you know, you stopped doing it. You know, you stopped going out to the highways and hedges. You stopped doing videos. Why? Because ultimately the Lord took the spirit away from you. But you cast away your confidence. You know, in which if you would have stayed in it, and if you would have endured, and if you would have been patient, and if you would have fought Satan, if you would have resisted the devil, you know, and allowed him to flee, then you would have kept going hard in this thing. You know, but you lost patience. Reading on, it says, "For ye have need of patience, that after you have done the will of Yahweh, ye might receive the promise." So now, the only way that you're going to make it to that, you know, is that you have to die on this side, and you have to come back in the kingdom of heaven. It says, "For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry. So to read that again, it says, for yet a little while, he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Because a lot of guys are counting Yahawashi as being slack. Oh, well, if he don't come by, 2019, then, I'm going to just have to go back into the world. Or if he don't come by 2018, then, there's guys that pretty much fall out every year. And why? Because they lose patience. The scripture says, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Verse 38, it says, now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. So the scriptures say that the just shall live by faith. But then it goes on to mention, if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. Why? Because if you draw back, that's a lack of faith. That means that you don't believe. If you believe, then you will be willing to suffer for what you believe. No matter how hard it is. No matter, the challenges or the obstacles, the disadvantages. You will persevere through all of that. No matter the doubt that's creeping in. Which goes to show you that these guys didn't have faith, because what is faith? Faith is a shield. It says, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. Now, the word perdition means destruction. So all of you guys that drew back, and you're about to be destroyed, man. But we are of those that believe unto the saving of the soul, which means that we have faith unto the end, man.
I've been back
A little bit more in Matthew.
Oh, well, I got a scripture precept real quick. This is 2 Timothy 2 and 1 there. It said, thou, so my eyes ain't working well. Yeah, that's what we in these bodies. We gotta get out of these bodies, man.
You want me to read it for you?
Yeah, kind of. There you go. You can grab you want to grab it?
Which verse?
Just go to
This is 2
to 1 of 4.
1 to 4. This is 2 Timothy 2 and 1. It says, thou therefore, my son, be strong in grace that is in Mashiach Yahawashi.
Be strong in the grace, because we have it at this moment, man. All right, we have a grace time that Yahawashi gave to us, but hey, that's for a limited time only. Okay, so Yahawashi is telling us, look, while you got this, get this work, man. Get this understanding, because when he come with full force. Go ahead, bro.
And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou unto faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also.
Keep going, bro.
Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier.
So you're gonna come in this truth. You're gonna have hardness. You're gonna have days. You're gonna have days you feel like somebody ain't gonna like. You're gonna have days that you're gonna have that the world is against you. You're gonna have days that your woman gets on your goddamn nerve. You're gonna have things like that. But all in all, it's through the Spirit. It's gonna have to.